I'm not feeling particularly perky this afternoon, but I've been wanting to do a burn in our little burn pit. So that's what I'm going to do until I just can't do it anymore. I just started a second ago. We keep old paper and old a jar of fat drippings from the kitchen to start fires with, like this, on our little farm. Well, there's Mr. Sparky. The white one is Dandy, short for Dandelion, because she was yellow. Right next to her is Henny Penny. Henny Penny is going to be 6 in May. And then over here, the black one is Sheena. She'll also be 6 in May. The other two that are speckled, the one on the right is Cocoa Melon. She's pretty young. And the one next to her with the white head that's behind Dandy, that is Pepper. Because she was one of a pair, Salt and Pepper. Salt was very white, but she didn't live any time at all. But Pepper has lasted. And they're all good layers. They really are. Henny Penny right there is the most motherly inclined one. She's the one most likely to want to sit on some eggs. The rest of them have no interest at all. And the bossy one is that one right there. That's Sheena. She tries to tell me what to do, but without success. But man, she will get mean with Adam. Adam is scared of Sheena. I'm sorry to say. He is scared of that hen right there. Now see that noise that Mr. Sparky's making? He told all those hens to come hide under that tree. That's one of their favorite places to hide. It's good for shade, but it's also good for protection. And almost certainly he heard a predator bird overhead and called them under there. Matter of fact, I see something flying up above in the next farm. So if you ever want to know what a rooster is good for, that's what he's good for. He keeps the flock together, he tells the hens what to do, and he is more concerned with their welfare than he is with his own. He will not eat until they've eaten, and while they can eat, he just stands there and looks up in the air and all around. He is total guardian. These are the beautiful bats. Isn't that just gorgeous? I'm so happy to have access to something this beautiful so close to me at such a reasonable price. She charges, I think, is it $3 an ounce for this? Look at that. These are little starter cells that I was trying to do, I think it was collards in, and they did come up, but they didn't survive. But I'm not going to waste that wonderful soil. It's really some kind of a starter mix. So I'm going to mix it into my regular potting soil. I'm going to reuse it. It's a little bit light for real plants, but it's actually, when you add it all up, it's quite a bit. Probably easier to crumble it with my hands. I'm going to fill some pots I have in anticipation of buying impatiens. Now, it's not time for impatiens yet. I wish it were, but it's not. This is a pretty little pot that I got at Walmart. And this is a very pretty pot I got at a specialty store down in somewhere near the coast. That was last year. Okay, and I want to get all these little seedlings from the pine trees out. I don't want a lot of little pine trees coming up. You want to leave some soil space. You want to leave some space in there so that when you put your new plant in there, it's going to come with its own soil. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put a little soil in the bottom of these pots, and then I'm going to fill them with daffodil bulbs. I'm constantly, every year, early in the spring, I'm digging up daffodil bulbs that come up in the yard. And in early May, there is going to be a plant swap in Oriental on a Saturday morning when I'm at the farmer's market. And every year I try to remember to take some plants for my yard. People just dig up what they have. They don't bring anything fancy. But you can get beautiful established hostas or ferns, herbs, and even some veggies. People bring all kinds of stuff. And so I don't want to spend too much of my potting soil on a bunch of daffodil bulbs, but you can buy plants for $1. But if you bring them in, you can just swap. Oops, I think I just crunched my tray. Let's do one more. All right. Let me show you what I've got here. Oh. Now I'm going to need a lot more than this, but I'm going to try to cram maybe 4 or 5 bulbs in each one. Some of them got mown down a little bit. There's 4 in that one. I've had them soaking in this tub of water for the last month, I guess. The dogs love to go drink the water. These are very nice bulbs. Beautiful root system. Some of them are quite large. They were just in the wrong spot, and I have literally hundreds of daffodil bulbs in my yard. Here's 2 together. Not daffodils. Yes, daffodils. I don't get daffodils and dandelions mixed up. I just get the words backwards because they both start with a D. Now, if you leave these in here too long, they will just rot. I can already smell the water is kind of meh. these were some of the ones, the early ones are some of the ones that didn't really have much greenery. But now I'm getting to the greener ones. I don't think they like being in the water, but they do survive. All right, I'm gonna need to do some more because I've got all of these. Can you see that? Yeah, well, not really. I've got all of these left to do. I just want these bulbs, and especially their root systems, to stay moist until, well, you probably don't need to watch me do any more of these, but I'm gonna do probably that many again. All right, well, so that's what I'm doing a little bit this morning. It is gorgeous outside. It's cool, but not much cool. Breezy, but not too much breezy. It's just right. And, all right, friends. So here are the little pots I just made. There's 14 of them, and they really are crammed full of bulbs. I finally got fed up with doing, like, 4 or 5, and I just crammed them in there. So here's 2, and all of these. So excited. Let me just give you a glimpse of some of the plants that I swapped for last year. I know that I got this fern, which is so much larger this year, and I think there's 2 hostas in here and 1 in here. And I think I got all 3 of those hostas last year. And I got both of those pots also, and I think they were just $1 each, and they're huge. So a plant swap is such a fun thing, and it's a benefit for our women's club in Oriental. Well, the last little thing I'm going to do in this video is a project that I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's been unpredictable, and it's the reason why this video is late coming to you, because I've been waiting for a time to do it. Well, I've been wanting to make a cat bed, and I've been wanting to use my old scrap nasty wool that I couldn't use for anything else. When I'm taking apart a fleece, it's the leftover stuff, and I hated to throw it away. And so I kept it in a bucket, and I had some more in a bag, been sitting around, and finally I just took it all. Now this is the stupid part, okay? And I spread it out on some bubble wrap, and I got out here this is, my little short pool noodle. I wanted to felt it into some kind of a shape, any kind of shape, round, oval, square, something like that. It was a good bit of fleece. And so I wet it down, and I put the soap on it, and I rubbed it, and I scrubbed it, and I worked it, and I tried to felt it, and it kind of started to felt, but I had too much fiber on there. That was really the issue. So I looked at it, and I was like, I can't fight with this anymore. So I decided I would do the other thing that almost invariably will felt fiber wool, and I put it in the washing machine with 3 tennis balls and some towels, I think. Now, it was loose, but still hanging together. I could kind of hang it up and it would have some pieces fall off, but it wasn't just a mass of loose wool. And so I put it in the washing machine, and when I pulled it out, this is hilarious. This is what I had. All of the little, it didn't have any, these are like dreadlocks, okay? Maybe they are locks of wool, I don't know. But they all formed little dreadlocks. And then they kind of joined together almost in this, you can kind of see it's like a line, okay? And I looked at that and thought, that's bizarre, but maybe I can work with that. The thing is, I don't even know if the cats are going to like it, but it's just an experiment. It's something fun to do. And if, perchance, I could find a use for all that leftover, the second cuts, the short pieces of fleece on the bigger fleece, the short fiber, the end pieces. Now, I don't like to keep the really nasty poopy bits. I do that gets thrown straight away. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera down and show you what I think I'm going to do with this. It may not work at all, in which case this will be the end of the video. Bye-bye. But maybe it'll work. Okie dokie. I thought what I would do was generally try to keep that kind of line around the outside and put all of the loose fiber toward the inside, a little bit like a nest, just making a little nest. And so I've got kind of this ridge around the outside that's joined. Oh, there's still all kinds of crazy stuff in here. There's a little bit of piece of pine. I'm sure there's all kinds of EM. But do remember, it's a cat bed. Now, and the other thing I would really like to do at the end is to have some kind of a fabric on the bottom of it to kind of stabilize it, round or oval. But I need, okay, this is what I need to do. I want to get all this joined together so it'll hold together. And I hate to say this, but I don't want to hand stitch it. I don't enjoy hand stitching. It hurts my fingers. I have real painful arthritis in my thumbs and that kind of thing. I won't go into that. But it just hurts my fingers. And so I'd like to try to somehow use the machine on this. I don't know how in the world that will work. And that's the iffy part. Just how do I use my sewing machine to join all this together? I do not know. I do not know. So we're going to give it a shot. Okay, let's see if this camera angle works. Hope the camera doesn't fall on my sewing. So far, well, there we go. I need a weight on there. All right, as long as I don't do it too thickly. Some of the pieces on the outside, I tried to join the circle first. And I'm using a very big zigzag stitch. And now I'm just trying to lay these fluffy fibers down. Try to get something across the middle. And bring them together as I go. Try not to run the needle over my finger. That would be good. Did I ever tell you that my grandmother was a wonderful seamstress? She could sew anything. She sewed without patterns. She sewed dance costumes for my mother. But she did put her needle through her finger once. It was her index finger. I'm not sure which one. And she had a split in that fingernail the rest of her life. So I took that as fair warning to keep my fingers a bit away from the needle, since I knew it was possible to do that. I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got a lot of fluff out here. As long as I can get it to hold together, though. Oh, there's something. Let me cut that. That's just some wool, but it's preventing my foot from... And once I get it sewn together, I could probably put it through the washer. Well, I don't know. Could I? Get it to hold together better, or would it just come apart? That is a question. I've never really sewn raw wool before. Have any of you? I'd love to know if you've had any adventures down this rabbit trail. Now here comes a bit of a chunky part. I'm glad Adam's not here today to see what I'm doing to this sewing machine. He's very particular about sewing machines and their tender love and care. And I see them more as this is a tool to help me do my project. I'd prefer to pull in like this piece from here and this piece from here and attach them with some nice strong zigzag stitch, and then pull in this piece from here and this piece from here and attach them, and do that about 4 times across and get it attached and see how it looks at that point. Okay, I did a lot of small little, you can't call them seams, but you know what I mean, little stitches, joining things together. And I've got this little mound now. Now it does hold together. It's got floppy bits. I don't know what, Lucy would probably just mangle that in a second. I don't know how much more, I really, it's too thick for me to like sew across like this and, and divide it into a pie. I don't think that's going to happen. I could do some hand stitching that way, but I think it'd be too loose to be useful. So I want to find some sturdy fabric to put on. That'll probably be the front. I don't know. Does it matter? This might be the back. Boy, there's some matted stuff, but she might really love that. I don't know if she would be able to make that into a nest. I guess she might. Will she like it? It might end up in the trash can. I don't know. What do you think? Anybody have any brilliant ideas about this project? Is it a lost cause, or does it have some kind of potential? We'll call it potential. Let me know in the comments. I'll probably fill you in on this in another episode if I get it to go anywhere, but I want to go ahead and get this episode out for you. So I'll call it quits here for today. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching today and for joining me. It's that time of year. Adam hung a new laundry line for me. I mean, the posts were there, but he gave me a new line, and it's time to air out the blankets from the winter.